All right, welcome back. It is Reviewing the Call. The boys are back together. Our first episode of year 2024. I'm going to
Yeah,
first start off by saying we missed y'all to our fan bases. We know we have been a little bit quiet, but we had some things that we were working through trying to make sure that we provide the best content. But the boys are back together. It is Carlos, Chris, and myself. We are going to be talking sports. This week's episode is going to be talking strictly NFL football because we are in the playoffs officially. Week 18 just wrapped up.
let's
Um,
go.
Boys, how has it been, dude? I feel like it's been a decade. It's been a whole year since I talked to you
Literally,
guys.
literally.
How's
Pretty
everything going?
much.
What's popping off? What's new? Let the people know. Go ahead, one of you.
I'll go.
Time.
Well,
So,
I'll take it. I mean, just trying to close off 2023, man, and on a positive note, and trying to start off 2024 on a positive note as well. And I just wish the best for you guys and all the viewers out there as well.
Yeah, that's right.
okay.
Let's
Well,
get
for
it this year, guys.
myself, it was a hectic December, but it was awesome at the same time, church wise, family wise too, and just excited to see what's in store for the three of us here for 2024, and it's just going uphill now, but it's gonna be fun, boys. So I'm excited to get back into it.
Yeah, me too, man. It's like I said, it's felt like forever since we last recorded. So this is our first recording of the year. We want to start off the year great. We wanted to make sure that we were bringing great content to you guys, great quality to you guys, so that way we don't miss anything and we don't get judged online for it. So we've kind of revamped a few things, but we're the same three bros that talk sports and no, we don't know everything. Yes, we get stuff wrong. We are all human. So shut up and listen. All right. Just kidding. Don't shut up. Hit me in the DMs. But yeah, we just wanted to bring the best content that we could. So for the time being, right now, currently, just so everybody's aware of the new structure, for the foreseeable future until football season is over, we're going to be mainly sticking into football. Just talk NFL, talk predictions. Obviously, we got a lot of games going on this coming weekend. With Week 18 just finishing up, a lot of emotional games this last weekend that happened. A lot of obviously close games, games that were people were eliminated. It was win and you're in type games. So we got a lot of stuff to catch up on with that. Obviously, we still are going to talk about other sports, but for the next couple of weeks until we pass the Super Bowl, we'll be talking NFL strictly or UFL or whatever it's called now. The one with The Rock and whatever, XFL and the USFL bought together. Them. So we know that a lot of people listen to us for strictly just our sports stuff, but we are going to introduce games. We're going to introduce little trivia stuff. We just want to provide good content to share with you guys. So if you guys have any recommendations, then feel free and shoot us a message and let us know. Like, hey, we want to talk about this topic. We're all ears. We're not anywhere near where we want to be, but with this new kind of structure we're going with, we're hoping that we can reach our goals this year. Last year was great for us. We hit our first year mark last year. It was crazy because we hit our year mark and then we took a break. So we
Hey
left
man,
you guys.
that year
We
was
left you guys hanging.
exhausting. The year was exhausting.
Yeah, it was a tiring year, but we left you guys hanging. But we are back together now. So obviously the boys are here. If you guys obviously know, Domo, he's not with us anymore, or for the foreseeable future. He's decided to step away for a little bit for his personal reasons, which is great. We still love him. He's still a bro to us. There's no disconnect there. We're still
Love you,
fans.
Domo.
So we're gonna miss his little nuggets, but we'll bring him back on.
Yep.
Yeah,
There he is.
we're gonna bring him back on whenever he's willing to and whenever he can. So for now, it's just gonna be Carlos, Chris, and myself. So I think that is a good little recap. First, before we get into the football stuff, any New Year's resolutions for you guys?
Yeah. Resolution, and I'm gonna throw it out there, is to purchase my first home. We're
Oh, nice.
It's not really a resolution because I have faith that we're gonna do it. It's not really like man, hopefully I get it. No, I know I'm gonna get it. So it's just one of those things where you got to sacrifice a couple things to achieve it. But Lord willing,
Yeah,
we're gonna purchase our own house, our first house
absolutely.
this year. for sure. But yeah,
So reviewing the call, and all the fans will go to the first housewarming party.
not just that, but all the reviewing the call people are gonna go help me move. So let's get it.
No,
Oh man, we
not that
we
part.
just lost everybody.
Carlos, you got any New Year's resolutions or anything you're looking to do this coming year?
Other than the same resolution a lot of people have, lose weight and trying to better my health, but really just save more money.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
save
that's a
a
good one.
lot more money. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Watch
mean,
my-
Dodger
watch the
games are gonna be
spending,
expensive this year, bro.
oh yeah, we got to pay for Shohei, bro.
Don't worry, I got something for that.
Yeah,
Go to my GoFundMe page. Dodger Carlos wants to go to Dodger games.
Yeah.
GoFundMe.
at GoFundMe. Yeah,
Nosebleed seats are
yeah.
gonna be $1,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would take them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's breaking news in every sport. When there is breaking news, we'll bring those up too. We're not going to tap into the MLB stuff because obviously everybody's aware of it now. We obviously weren't recording when all the trades were happening and the new signings. You guys know though. If you guys live under a rock and you've never heard that Shohei signed to the Dodgers, well, I don't know what to tell you, but you should know because it was
They just found
all
out.
over the place.
Literally.
Yeah, but if you
everywhere.
just found out, tag us because you're welcome.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, for me, my New Year's resolution is kind of based off of Carlos too. What kind of Carlos says, save money, and then also just get a little bit healthier. I did start going to the gym again. I paid for a gym membership because I'm like, if I'm paying for it, I feel like I have to do it, and I've been doing it, so I feel pretty good about it. But it's definitely it's hard when you have to wake up early, and then you have a 2-year-old that doesn't let you sleep really well. So
That's that sacrifice, bro. That's
but
that
you gotta do it,
sacrifice.
And for everybody out there that you're thinking, oh, New Year's resolutions, they're fake or whatever, nobody ever sticks to them. That don't get that negativity out of your mind and just do it. Just go do what you want to do. I got buddies that, are like my New Year's resolution is to not make any strong commitments this year and strictly make strategic choices. And I love that too because I don't want to promise you, I'm gonna be there in July when it's only January. You know what I mean? Like it's too far. In advance, bro.
I might not be alive tomorrow.
Yeah. But that's a little catch up, and that's a New Year's resolution stuff for us. I think it is a perfect time to hear the NFL song, so we can jump in to the wild card. All right, before we get into
love
the
that
coming week, because we do have Chris is obviously trigger happy with the sound bites, which is
You
great
wanted
because
the
a lot of
sound
people
bites.
love
You got
those
the sound bites.
Yep. So I'm glad you're using them. So before we get into the wild card weekend, we do have the week 18 was crazy. There was a lot of games there were win or go home, or if you win and they lose or they tie, then this happens. I want to talk first and foremost because Chris lives in Houston on the emotional game that was the Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. I watched that game and I was like, okay, first of all, CJ Stroud is showing who he can be, who he has the potential to be. He's carrying that team well. I love that he's like faith driven. I just love that hearing him, that like the way he talks to the crowd and the way he talks to reporters. But Chris, what were your thoughts on the game? What did you think was going to happen? How emotional were you? I know you're a Niner fan, but I know you live in Houston and you support the hometown team too. So
That
what's
is
your
the only
thoughts on it?
hometown team I
went on?
support, by the way. But
Yeah, 'cause you got a couple.
it was a roller coaster. So, for those that don't know, I went to
It
week
was.
17, Titans versus Texans, and it was a complete blowout, 26-3. It was the game to go to as a Texans fan or someone that just wants to watch football and supporting the home team because it was a blowout. So that's what I went into the game thinking was going to happen. The same kind of result of it being high scoring for the Texans, low scoring for the Colts. I'm not a big Colts fan. And it was not that, bro. I texted my buddy when it was 14-3 going into the second. And, dude, it was silent after that for the Texans. 14-3, silent. Third quarter happens. It was 14-6. And we only scored 3 points. And Indy comes back in and just starts, scoring. And end score was 23-19. CJ Stroud, honestly, I think he's proven himself well worthy. I think he should have been first overall pick. But regardless, I'm happy that the Texans. I'm happy what Lovie Smith did last season to win that last game, so they can get the second pick because C.J. Stroud absolutely kills it. And the whole team, bro, the atmosphere at the stadium, dude. I haven't been to a Texans game where you see Texans fans there. Every time I've gone after, no, I'm being dead honest. It's like what you say about like the Niners and the Rams. When you go and see them in SoFi, there's more Niners fans than there is Rams fans.
Levi South.
Exactly. So it's the same. It was like that years past, but now it's man. The Texans fans finally woke up. Obviously, you got the bandwagon fans that just got into the sport. It happens in any sport. But 23-19, literally nail biter. I don't know who wants to talk about those last plays.
Oh man, that's what I was going to jump into.
I feel like a lot of people want to say something about the last two plays. Carlos, go ahead, bro. Take the lead on what happened at the end. What were your thoughts when the plays broke down? What happened?
I mean, I think the last play, because the Colts were marching down. I thought at least we're gonna get a field goal out of that drive, but
they were 4th and 1. They needed 1 yard.
Yeah, 1 yard, and it was a little bit behind him, but it was still a catchable ball. It touched his hands.
Question, because I saw this on the internet, and when I saw the play live, the 4th and 1, anybody ever think of Seattle when they should have ran it? That's the first thought that came to my head.
But they were in the red zone, though.
Yeah, but you're 4th and 1. Your running back has been tearing apart the defense.
Literally,
all
that
game,
whole game.
Dude.
Yeah.
He was tearing them apart.
Jonathan Taylor had 188 yards.
I can't really compare because that was an interception, right? The one that
with the 4th and 1, yeah. With Seattle,
that was an interception. This one, he was.
But what
not
I'm
even
saying
covered.
is, he was running the ball down the field. He ran it that last drive completely. The Texans' defense was in shambles trying to protect that run, and they couldn't stop him. There was a few plays where they got tackles for loss, but he was showing what he was worth. And then you mean to tell me you bring your third string running back in to run a flat route? And then he drops it. The throw was a little bit behind him, and it was low. But at the same time, I don't know, man. So I think that was a bad play call. In my personal opinion,
even in junior high football, they tell you if it touches your hands, you catch the ball. You could be on C team, and that's the rule. You get sat down for that. These guys get paid hundreds of thousands.
That's a professional.
Hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to catch a ball. I just think he was nervous. I feel for him. Because, man, the way whenever he missed the ball, he looked at it and just fell to the floor face down. Bro, I can't.
But is that on Gardner Minshew too, though? Is it Gardner Minshew
I don't
too?
blame the. I mean, it was a little behind, but it touched his hand. It was catchable.
That's what I said. It was still catchable. Correct. Right.
Okay, so here's my only defense then, and I'm not defending the running back that dropped it
and the receiver.
Because,
his name is Tyler Goodson.
It is what it is. Tyler Goodson. I'm not defending him whatsoever, but if Gardner Minshew threw that ball a little bit more directed at him and not too low or not too behind, obviously it's a catchable play because you got to think about the momentum that the running back was doing. He had to turn around in full sprint to try to grab it, so it makes obviously the play a lot harder than it should have been. In reality, though, does it come down to the play calling?
Yes.
Do you blame the play calling? Because you have the running back that, like I said, was picking apart the defense. He was getting easy 3, 4, 5, 6 yards down the field. He pushed them all the way down from one end zone to the next, and then you pull him on the game-deciding play. Because like Carlos said, they could have like, if they got it, then call the timeout or the whatever, And it was
thought they were going to run it.
But the play was there though. The play was there. I can't really blame that on that because the play was there, and the running back, he knew it right away. As soon as he dropped it, he knew it was his fault. Like that should have been caught.
But
he laid on the floor with his head down. Like, yo, that's all me. But the play call was there. It was for me, and it was right there. It was right there.
I'm 100% with you as well. But the play call could have happened. I like the comparison in the sense of having back when in Seattle having the best running back on your team in the league at that time, Marshawn Lynch, not being able to run in a goal. It was easy. In this case, Jonathan Taylor had 188 yards. The Texans could not stop him every time he had the ball. I don't think he had any loss of yards, but his longest run was 49 yards. That's the only thing where I agree with it being 4th and 1 why not like give it to the guy that's been getting you results all day? That's the only thing I'm saying.
But I think that's why that play worked, because that action play to Jonathan Taylor faked everybody out, and he was that guy. The running back was wide open, or that second running back, right? I think
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what
he was
opened. I
last
think
on the
that's
list,
what
yeah.
opened it up.
Well, so here's the biggest thing that everybody's talking on the internet, and what I saw too. Everybody was just like, wow, like you have the running back that, like I said, was picking apart the defense. It's 1 yard. You run the Philly special and run the tush push. Like,
Wow,
just
it's
do
still
something
legal, run it.
where it's like 1 yard is what you needed.
Literally.
You mean to tell me that Jonathan Taylor wasn't going to get 1 yard? Of course he was. That's the only thing that I disagree with the play call
It's the
is
script.
the fact that you had such a good running back running all game, and to take it away from him when the game is on the line. It was my thing. But so back to that game, right? Obviously that was the biggest play of the game. But C.J. Stroud, first drive, first pass, 70-yard bomb, touchdown.
Sick.
Come on now, like come on, dude.
The
Like
boy, man.
he's
He's the
showing his talent, and I just I pray that he is going to be able to stay healthy. Keep his mind
He's the
clean,
future.
keep his
He's the
faith,
future.
and he's the
For
future.
sure.
Yep, 100%. He's the future of that organization. So congrats. If we have the clap sound, congrats to the Houston Texans. You made it to the playoffs with D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud leading the pack.
Yeah,
So-
CJ.
Just let the claps do its thing.
Yeah. So that was obviously the big one that started on Saturday night. The Steelers obviously played during the day. They beat the third string Ravens, whatever, 17-10. The Steelers didn't make the playoffs though, which is crazy. And I saw this meme today that I was like, they were like, oh wait, the Steelers are in the playoffs, and the guy said, yeah, we always just end up with a winning season and we sneak into the playoffs. So congrats Steelers fans.
What number is it? They're on like a streak, right? Like
what?
like winning seasons, the Steelers.
Oh,
I saw
I
that
don't
the
know.
other
I forget
day.
what the number is. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're I don't know how they
Okay.
always sneak out with a winning season, but whatever. We had a lot of games on Sunday too. There were some games that just didn't matter. Rams, Niners, they were just like whatever. Like the Rams can take the win if they want, because it really didn't matter. But then you had big games. You also had games with obviously Dallas was trying to clinch the number 2 spot, and then you wanted the Eagles. What's going on with the Eagles? Can we use the fraud sound for them, because something's
I don't have
happening
a
over
fraud
there.
one, but I do have. I don't have a fraud one. I'm sorry. That's the one I don't got. But we should
Well,
definitely
anyways, fraud. That's my that's my fraud one, because
This is
what
for
happened, dude?
get one. This is their season.
And here comes
The Seagulls. What are they calling them now?
and here comes Jalen Hurts with an awesome Instagram dedication post or that he saw on Pinterest or something, because that's just what he likes to do. He likes posting motivational quotes from, like, you could tell he got it off of Pinterest. Focus on the game. But the Eagles have really, really screwed up their playoff
Chances.
I mean, they're still in the
They're
playoffs,
in.
right?
They're
They're
in.
going to play Tampa.
Oh, they're in. They're in. But
Yeah, they're in. They're still in the playoffs, but the way that they went out in this season, and it was like everybody initially said it's going to be 49ers, Eagles in the NFC Conference Championship. Like, that's what's going to happen. I don't see them like coming out of the first round. Like, if I'm
I
being
think
honest,
the Bucks might beat them, bro.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
be honest, okay, explain this to me then. Is the Giants better than the Bucks?
no, that's the
Okay.
problem.
They're equally
Taking
bad.
with that one. Exactly.
Are the Cardinals better than the Bucks? Absolutely
Not correct. So what do you think the Bucks? Hey, and the week before that, the Commanders, they only beat the Commanders by like a point.
So here, pause. Because last year, remember I had said when I initially called them the fraud, it was because a lot of their games were way too close. They were
This
coming
year
out
too.
winning. This year too, but this
Yep,
year the
this
other
year
teams
too.
have been able to capitalize on the momentum, and they've been able to advance. I'm not talking down on the Eagles because you never know what's going to happen in the playoffs, right? Because playoffs are one game. That's it. Like you get one game, you move on to the next. One game, you move on to
That's
the
it.
next. It's not based off season comparisons or none of that. The only thing
It's
that
not a
matters
game-
from the
it's not
season
7 games.
is your ranking. Yeah, it's not a
I will
7-game series.
say-
It's one and done.
That in week 3, I mean, I understand that's when they were good still, but they did beat the Bucks, so it's not like they haven't beat them this season.
But they were
Um,
in sync there.
Yeah,
I
they
think
were on
they
a
got
5-game
out of
win
it.
streak after that game. So
and they were healthy. Right now, they're not healthy.
yeah,
So,
that's what I'm saying. Like
my thing is-
it's a toss up.
So here's a thing, right? Because the NFL asked a bunch of NFL players, athletes, coaches, managers, like, what's the worst fan base that you like rank them? Number 1 was the Eagles as the worst because they
Really?
were just a lot of people were saying they were
Philly
obnoxious. A lot of people saying they're too loud. Players were like they're just disrespectful. And I understand that you're passionate about your team or whatever, but I mean, it's a game, right? You don't play for them. We don't play for the Niners. We don't play for any team, right? We have a podcast. So, and with Philly, their fans are delusional right now because they still think that they can make it to the Super Bowl. But you are not going to go through. First of all,
let them
if you
keep
got-
thinking
if the Bucks happen to win this game, right, and we'll make our playoff
Oof.
predictions a little bit later.
Oof.
But if the Bucks end up, let's say they beat the Eagles or whatever, then that's it, right? The Eagles season's over. But let's just say the Eagles come out, and let's just say for some odd reason they play and they either play San Fran or they play Dallas or something, right? They're not beating those teams. They're not beating
Oh,
those
no,
teams either
no,
way.
no.
Because
Heck
the
no.
first, after the 49ers ran through in Philly, ran through them, we like Nick Bosa said, we opened up that playbook and everybody saw their performance, and then
Yeah.
Dallas went and did the
And did that
exact same thing.
same thing. Yeah.
So they're very not predictable, but the
Good note.
defenses have aligned to that. So Philly is going to have a tough time in the playoffs. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa comes out and wins that game, but I'm not going to put my money on it. But
You know,
I might put it
I
on.
will.
Tampa's
I,
at home.
I will
Tampa's at
say.
home.
That's crazy.
I will say
Tampa's
that
that's crazy.
you guys could say that right now. I'm not gonna knock the Eagles because they've been in these situations before. I know last season they had a great season and then they lost in the Super Bowl, but in this case, I mean, if this could be their wake up, the teams get hot at the right time and the others fall asleep. And then I will say this as well,
Yeah.
and you guys can both come at me, but the Niners in the playoffs too isn't the hottest thing in the world. So
I agree 1,000%.
so that's what I'm saying. Like, and you have a bye week with the Niners too. So that's another thing where you have that rest time, which is good or bad, which we talk about every time.
If you think about it, the Niners had 2 bye weeks, right? Because their starters really didn't show out on Sunday. And
Correct.
so you take 2 weeks off, and then you let the main heads of the team rest to be prepared for the first game, right? So I agree with you 1,000%. And even as a Niner fan, I know that when it comes to playoffs, like I said earlier, it is one and done, right? So you have to show up that game. You have to show up every game moving forward.
Every
you can't
down,
take it. Yeah,
every
every
yard.
down. Like you can't let be like, oh, hopefully next week we got it.
Yeah,
No,
you
this
don't got
is it.
next
Like,
week.
and to bounce off what Chris was saying, taking the bye week, right? You get a week rest. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. And other teams, they get that fire lit, and they can maybe take this potential run into the playoffs and go into the Super Bowl. Same thing on the AFC side, because a lot of people, myself included, I look at Kansas City that way. Kansas City is nowhere near where they used to be. And they've won a lot of close call games. And it wouldn't surprise me if they end up losing in the first or second round. When was Kansas City like in the wild card weekend? They've had bye weeks every season for a long time now that I remember. Maybe 2 seasons in a row, but whatever. Like either way, like they
They're the
don't
team to
really
fear.
play these potential Saturdays. And to bounce off for Saturday game, right? Because before we get into our prediction, Saturday's game, a lot of people are upset about this Dolphins-Chiefs game because it's in Kansas City, right? For one, it's going to be
snowing,
freezing cold. It's like -4 or something like that. Is what they're
Yeah.
estimating. Jeez, Miami's
Good
gonna
luck, Miami.
freeze over there, but
Miami.
But
You're coming from
it's-
Miami.
it's streaming on Peacock, and a lot of people are upset about that because it's like the NFL is like telling you to get another subscription because it's not on regular TV.
I got
strictly
Peacock.
on Peacock. I got Peacock.
I got Peacock
First
too.
of all, but here's the thing. Peacock is $5. Why?
Yeah, bro, it's $5.
Dude,
Like,
you're
what?
you're over there paying for Netflix, which is like $25. Just add another $5.
Yeah, dude,
equal
like,
30.
That's
$5, bro.
That's funny. I was gonna go to Best Buy and buy an antenna because to watch NBC games
Oh,
you need
okay.
channel 4, and I'm like, why am I gonna go spend like $25 on an antenna? I can just pay $5 a month
know.
and just
And I-
have Peacock and NBC.
And
better than
I
an
use
antenna.
Peacock a lot. There's like great things on there.
Yep.
There's like Harry
Office is
Potter.
on there.
There's
That's
The
funny.
Office.
I don't even watch it. I only use it because of that.
Yeah, but so here's the so a lot of people online were like, okay, if y'all are saying you're broke because you guys are upset about $5, you don't have to tell the world because people were tweeting at Roger Goodell like, hey,
Jeez,
dude,
man, people.
this is ridiculous, and it's like, come on, man. But
Yeah.
that's beside the point. I just wanted to bring that little fun fact in there because a lot of people were upset about it. Do you guys have another game that you guys wanted to talk about for Week 18? Any kind
No,
of
I'm
big
ready for
game that you
playoffs,
saw
baby.
or close call game? All right, let's go do our playoffs then. Chris, if you want to pull the slide up.
Yeah, I got you.
Obviously, you guys know now we are going into the wild card, which starts on Saturday with the Browns at Houston.
I'm sorry. Can I just throw this in? I didn't want to cut you off before, but
No, you're good.
I did want to talk about the Rams and the Lions game a little bit.
Let me
Rams
take
and
the
Lions?
bracket off.
Yeah, I mean, you still could have left it up, just because of Matthew Stafford is going back to Detroit.
Yeah.
That's what I really wanted to talk about. Before I didn't want to cut you off.
Let him retire there, baby.
But yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge game just because, like we were just talking about, you're hot at the right time, and the Rams, I don't know where they came from. They came out of nowhere from the south, but them coming into Detroit and Matthew Stafford going back, it's almost like a script, you know. That's what they've been calling it.
I think it's going to be an emotional game because
Is he
one,
starting?
you have Jared Goff playing against the Rams, which is the team obviously he got swapped for, and then Stafford coming back to Detroit. It's just it's a perfect
Yeah,
script.
and when is the last time Detroit hosted a playoff
Exactly.
game? That too.
That part.
So that's huge too. So I think that's gonna be a huge game as well. Because as a Niner fan, who would you want to face?
No, I don't care. I mean, not being cocky or anything, but
No, yeah, I know, but
it don't matter. Like, I feel like
if
we're
you,
a lot.
if you had to choose though, if you they gave you an option to choose to who to play.
Out of everybody in the NFC first, or you're saying out of the Rams and Lions?
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly I think for the fans, the
think
game is
Rams.
Rams and Niners,
Yeah.
right? Because but I think for competition wise, I feel like it's
I would go
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, me too.
Like if you want really good competition, Detroit, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather,
Because I feel like
have
the
Detroit.
Rams obviously won on Sunday. The Niners weren't using any starters for most of the game.
It was a
So,
preseason game.
That was their Super Bowl. But I feel like with Detroit's a well-rounded team. I feel like that's going to be a good game.
That
And-
either
and
either way,
them-
that would be all the way in the conference championship. So there's a lot of things
Yeah,
that
I mean
can
that's
happen.
still a
then.
long ways. But yeah, so obviously we're gonna do our playoff predictions for NFC and AFC side. That is a great point with the Rams and obviously Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit. It's crazy. Detroit hosting a game, crazy.
Crazy.
Houston hosting a game to me is crazy too.
Let's
because
get it.
That's true too.
Here's the thing with the AFC side, right, and the NFC side, because both conferences have a rebuild structure that was supposed to happen this year.
Mm-hmm.
For the AFC, you have the Houston Texans that they were going to be on a rebuild for the next coming years. New coach, new QB, new defense, new
everything.
offensive players. Everything was new.
Give it up to DeMarco Ryan though. Give it
So
up.
yeah, D'Amico Ryan's
D'Amico.
DeMarco
blew
Ryan.
that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then on the
That was
NFC
DeMarco,
side,
bro.
you
Sorry.
Yeah,
and
my
then
bad.
on the NFC side, you have Green Bay, who was also supposed to be on a rebuild. It was going to be the next couple of years before we saw them as a potential threat in the NFC. So they made it, and then obviously you
Good
got a
point.
young QB back there. So it's
But-
you have the Cinderella story on both sides, right?
But
You have the
Misa,
Houston
real-
Texans.
Quick question. I mean, the Packers are in there, but they're the 7th seed. It's not like they're up there. I know they made it. I'm not saying anything about that. But for the Packers to be 7 and the Lions 3, that's crazy.
I know, but the point of it
Yeah,
is
it is
the
wild.
point of it is though that they weren't even supposed to be
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
I got you.
They were supposed to be on a rebuild for 2-3 years.
Yeah, I agree
easily,
with you.
because you
They were
have
looking
Jordan
for
Love.
that. They were looking for that draft.
The draft pick, yeah, and then they snuck in the playoffs. And here's the thing:
That's
though.
out the window.
You always go into the playoffs, and you always have that one team that
Yeah.
could be sneaky
Yeah,
and
sneaky,
just
sneaky.
sneak all the way through. Gets and then
Goes deep,
what
at
happens in the
least.
conference game? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. In the AFC side, though, it's going to be tough because you have to go through Baltimore. Like, I don't see Baltimore losing any game.
Baltimore's
until,
scary, man.
Like if they're going to go
Really?
to the they're not losing any game until the conference game.
Baltimore
If they lose a
scary.
game, it'll be at the conference
I
game.
can't wait until we start doing them brackets.
Yeah. So like I don't think that they'll lose, right? But to talk about the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns came to Houston, beat Houston without C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Now C.J. Stroud is in. You're going back to Houston. You're playing in Houston. Houston playoffs are crazy in any sport. Fans show up.
That
you
I
have
will
a
say.
young QB. You have a rookie head coach. You can call him that. An ex-Texan player head coach. So it's going to be. I think this is going to be a dogfight. And if you guys are not watching this game on Saturday, you need to set your TiVo. Tell your wife to go shopping for 3 hours because I think this game right here, to me, is going to be a hell of a dogfight. And I think it's going to come down to like the last couple of plays, last decision making. D'Amico Ryans running that offense is great. CJ Stroud behind center. Hopefully he can stay healthy because that's what you want. And then you have Joe Flacco on the other side.
Yes,
Joe
sir.
Flacco, dude.
Is on fire.
I did not think I was going to say that
fire.
name ever again.
Unless he was like
I did
like a
not
host
think-
or something.
And they got like
Yeah.
number one defense too, bro.
Yeah,
Don't
and their
forget
defense
about
is
their
stout.
defense is
Yeah.
ill.
So
Joe Flacco
Here-
was eating
this
popcorn
is-
in his couch, and he got the call like,
When
"Hey,
he got
you
the
wanna you wanna
And-
come throw
and-
the football real quick? See if you still got it." Like what?
he's like,
And
yeah,
don't forget-
I could go for it.
Don't forget who he won the Super Bowl
Yeah, and he won it with the Ravens against.
with a great defense as well.
we don't talk
Yeah.
about that much.
So, yeah, we don't talk about the word. But you have Joe Flacco, and I feel like Joe Flacco has always been that guy that everybody's just like, oh, dude, he's Joe Flacco. Like, you can't
I
really
think
hate
people
him.
sleep
You know what
on
I
him,
mean?
though.
Right now,
Not
people
right
sleep on
now.
him. Underrated. And
Look
it's
what
going to
they're
be
at.
it's going to be a great matchup. I think that it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. The only thing that I worry about is that Houston offensive line trying to contain that defense from the Cleveland Browns. That's going to be tough.
That's where the issue's gonna come through
Yeah.
right there.
And then we'll see where the weakness is, right? We'll get into the predictions. We're just going to bounce off little nuggets from all the games for Saturday and Sunday. And then you have Miami, obviously traveling to Kansas City. Kansas City is supposed to be freezing cold. And you have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, obviously still great
They're used to that.
trio. They're normal. This is their normal. And then you got Miami, fishes out of water
Literally, they're gonna freeze
into
over
a
there.
freezing
But you know what?
arrowhead.
Tyreek
10
Hill come
Dolphins
from
live
there.
in Kansas City?
Tyreek Hill came from there, so I mean anything.
And that was another thing. Then you have Tyreek going back to Kansas City
Oof.
for his redemption game in the
Oof.
playoffs with Tua, right? And then
And he's not
you have-
going in 100% either. He's a little banged up.
So
Yeah,
that's
you're also correct.
Injuries at this point. This is why I say the bye week is so good to have because you avoid a lot of these injuries right now, especially for Baltimore and San Francisco, who are a very physical team. So you
Good
take
time.
the week, rest up. Obviously, CMC needs to rest up because he was our weapon all year. So I think that this Kansas City and Miami game is going to be good, but I'll give you my prediction.
No picks
in a
yet,
bit,
no picks
but
yet.
It's no picks yet. Yeah, and then on the end you have Pittsburgh snuck in as a 7th seed against the number 2 seed Buffalo Bills,
Which I think they
that's
snuck in
insane to
too.
me. They snuck in as a number 2. They were not ranked
Oh,
the number
but
2.
Buffalo's coming in hot as well, though.
Isn't
man.
it crazy that
They
this
picked-
they
bracket
picked it
doesn't
up
have
at
the
the
Bengals?
right time.
Isn't it
Yeah,
crazy
that's
this
wild.
bracket
Only
doesn't have
because
the
only
Bengals?
'cause you said the Cincy. Yeah, you made me think of that too.
Just Joe
That's
Shiesty.
wild. Yeah,
Joe
'cause
Shiesty not
Burrow,
there.
Shiesty's
It
not
makes
there.
a
Not
big
there.
difference, dude.
It's
It's not
huge
there.
difference, man.
So the AFC's games, I think those are going to be really entertaining. I feel like those
Yeah.
matchups are really good. But let's transfer over to the NFC side because obviously we're NFC team heads. Let's start off with the big game that everybody's going to be talking about, which is Green Bay, number 7 seed, going to number 2 seed, the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys,
good game,
you,
man.
as Cowboy
Good game.
fans, have been supportive for them, but Dak kept his word. At the beginning of our recordings of this season, he tweeted out, or an interview, I'm sorry, he said, I'm not going to throw 10 interceptions this season. He threw 9. He kept his word this whole season. He has been a great QB behind center for Dallas. Now, though, here's the thing. This is where Dak usually struggles.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
now it's going
The
to
Clayton
now it's gonna
Kershaw
be
of
different.
football.
read my mind.
yeah,
Read
the
my mind.
Clayton Kershaw of football, absolutely. But I think it's a little bit different now. I think he's a little bit
Kershaw's
more.
a champion.
I think he's a little bit more calm, if that makes any sense, because I do see him a little bit more, contained. He's more controlled. He's not throwing sloppy passes. He's not trying to scramble 16 yards back to throw it 20 yards ahead. Like he's not. He seems a little bit more comfortable in the pocket and
I
outside
think-
of the pocket.
I think it's because he has got a great offensive line, man, and a good defense.
Absolutely.
Like
Mhm.
I know, like even saying the Cowboys name, the way we're saying it gives me the ick. But they have a solid team this year, bro. They have a solid team. I will
Yeah.
say that they're solid. Dak is doing good, but like you were saying, this is where Dak will show his true colors in playoff do or
He
die
always
situations. Because there's no coming back. Like you said, you can be the number 1 seed going
He always
against number
does.
7 seed, and you need to win. It's not about taking it easy.
Yeah.
So we'll see
And-
what the hell they bring, bro.
And the thing is, you're playing Green Bay, a number 7 seed Green Bay with Jordan Love, right? Doesn't have major weapons. Aaron Jones is wishy-washy. You don't know what kind of running back you're going to get from him. So you're not playing Green Bay under center Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
with Devontae Adams. Like you're not doing that, You're playing a rookie QB in a sense. They're coming to you. I think Dallas can definitely win this game, but I can also see them losing this game. So
Yeah, that's the hard part. They've been a little bit inconsistent this year. I mean,
sometimes, yeah, you see it.
We blew them out. The Eagles got them. I
But
mean,
then they
even
turned around and blew the Eagles out.
even the Cardinals beat them.
Yeah, but I mean, They
But,
still ended the
it's
season
just-
strong. They're number 2 seed
yeah,
for a reason, right?
They end the season. Yeah,
And
of course.
And who's
Well,
throwing the
because
ball
the Eagles
is Dak.
also. they
Well, the
pooped on
Eagles
bed.
choked the bed too, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand that everybody's like concerns are, well, this is where the Cowboys usually mess up, which is 100% true.
Yep.
This is usually where it happens, but I'm
They've
not.
shown
I'm not.
it.
I'm not
They've
going to
shown it
say.
before.
I'm not going to say that it is going to happen because this season they've played a lot better than in the previous seasons. But right now, in the cycle of a Cowboys fan, this is where you guys are saying this is definitely our year, and then usually it falls off after this.
They
But-
always say
but I mean, I'm not rooting against you guys. I do want to see a great game against Green Bay. I hope that Dak really
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
crack under the pressure because it's a big game, regardless if
Yeah,
it's Green Bay
yeah.
with Aaron Rodgers or Green Bay with Jordan Love. It's a big game because it's playoffs now. It's
Yeah.
win or go home. And then we talked a little bit about it earlier. The Rams going into Detroit. Matthew Stafford traveling back to his usual hometown in Detroit, and then you have Jared Goff playing against his old teammates in the Rams organization, old coach. So that's going to be a good game too. And then there's the Eagles traveling to Tampa
Who would have thought that?
with the Bucks.
Oof.
Who would have thought they would have
Oof.
traveled? Huh? Who thought? I thought for sure they were going to be the number 1 seed, or not number 1, number 2 seed.
Number
they were
2
going to at
seed.
least host a game in the playoffs, and now they're traveling. They look wishy-washy. Who knows what kind of Eagles offense we're going to get? Are we going to get a powerhouse Eagle offense and the defense is finally going to show up? Or are we just going to get Baker Mayfield advancing in the playoffs?
That's
Like,
crazy.
what's going to
Crazy
happen?
to say.
You know, like
That's
wild.
crazy.
They
there's
could,
so
man.
many good stories
He's got
in this.
weapons. Mike Evans,
Yeah.
I like Mike Evans,
Godwin. He's got
Yeah.
weapons, man. They're good.
There's just so many stories that can perfectly align, right? Like even
It's part of the
Gonna be
script,
some
bro.
upsets.
down the line,
Gonna be some
like
upsets.
Joe Flacco beats Houston. Joe Flacco advances, travels to Baltimore against his old team. Like there's so many stories that can be
loses.
written about this. You know, like it's just insane. I think that right now though we can go into our predictions for
Let's
Hold up,
get
this
it.
wild card
Before we go
weekend.
predictions, real quick. Sorry, I didn't want to cut off. But what do we think about the number 1 seed Ravens? Because in the AFC side, I think the Ravens are the most unbeatable team, including
Yeah, absolutely.
when they make the Super Bowl. Because I'm not they're my pick for everything. Whenever they make the Super Bowl, any team on the NFC side that's got to play them's got to show up, man. Because whoever it is,
I agree.
because the Ravens beat the
1,000%.
Niners already a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And it
Ran through them.
Yeah, exactly. So it was 33-19. I got it pulled up. So any team, in this sense, the Ravens are the team to beat. Obviously,
The Ravens were the best team in the NFL this season.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody
Most complete
says. I don't
team.
care what fan you are. They were the most complete team. Absolutely. They have a great QB behind center, great defense, great offensive scheme. Like they were just unbeatable. Offensive line is good.
defense.
They were
is
just
crazy.
unbeatable. And I 1,000% agree with you. I think that number 1 seed is scarier. Even though the Niners are obviously a powerhouse team too, it's just Baltimore ran through everybody literally, and then they beat the brakes off of Miami too. Like it was, they're just a powerhouse team,
Facts.
and it's the offensive scheme that they have, that Harbaugh has down there with Lamar Jackson, where they do these like little flat routes, but then it looks like he's gonna throw it, but then he breaks off a 35-yard QB run. Like what? Like that's insane.
They're hard to beat. They're hard to
So
beat.
they're a hard team to beat, and I think that they are the best team in the NFL. And you're probably going to hate me for this, but I do think that Lamar Jackson is the NFL MVP. That's
Okay.
my opinion with that. I think he's
I mean, he
shown
did-
both threats.
When my 2 MVP picks came up to play, one left winning, and that was Lamar, and the other one had 4 interceptions. So there's that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Because now, like I was saying earlier, it's win or go home. We're not. If the Niners come out of the NFC, we're not going to see the Baltimore Ravens until the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
So
Exactly.
we don't necessarily not have to worry about it. You got to play, like Carlos always says, one game at a time, and it can happen. You can win it or you can't. Like last year, obviously for the 49ers fans and for the team itself, struggled when we played Philly because we went through 3 QBs. Joe Montana was warming up in the parking lot. Like, it was that bad. And then when we played them healthy, we went to Philly again and ran through Philly. And that shows a little bit of what could have happened in that. We could have gone to the Super Bowl then. But we coulda, those are excuses. We can't think that way. You're in the present now. You're the number 1 seed. You took a bye week. You're the best team in the NFC. The only way you beat or play the best team in the AFC is in the Super Bowl. So you got to play every game until then. So I agree with you, though. The Baltimore Ravens are that team to fear in this playoff bracket. Get to your predictions, Chris. What you got?
Me? Okay. I'll go
Yeah.
Texans. Texans over Cleveland. I will take Texans. KC and Dolphins. I'm going to go KC, and I'm just going to do that because of weather. Like you guys were saying,
Okay.
I think they got the upper hand there. Bills and Steelers. I'm actually going to go with the upset on this one. I'm going Steelers.
Wow. Okay.
Packers and Cowboys. I'm going Cowboys. I think they're more solid.
Okay.
Lions and Rams. I'm gonna go Lions. Eagles and Bucks, which is the last game. It's gonna be the Bucks. And that's
Damn,
my
okay.
that's my wild card predictions for
All
now.
right. I got them jotted down for Chris. Carlos, you want to go with yours?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns over the Texans.
Okay.
Have I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs over Dolphins on this one. Just like Chris said, the weather. I feel like Kansas City got the upper hand on that. And Steelers in Buffalo. I got Buffalo on that one.
Yeah.
For the Eagles and Bucks. I got the Bucks winning that one. I also got Detroit beating the Rams. I kind of thought of that one because of Detroit's injuries right now, but hopefully they'll be all right. And yeah, I got Green Bay. I got Cowboys over Green Bay on that game.
Cowboys over Green Bay, you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
even though I would
Yeah.
like to see Love do
No,
his
you
thing.
just want to see the Cowboys lose first round.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to put it in a nice way.
So for my wild card predictions, I got Houston beating Cleveland. I also got Kansas City, and it's strictly like Chris said because of the weather, which is like, man, Kansas City's getting bailed out because Miami was such a
Oh.
great team, and now they're traveling to this horrible weather over there.
I think it's still going to be a close game.
Yeah, I think it will too. I think both teams will show up, and then I do have the Bills beating Pittsburgh. But like Chris said, it would not surprise me if that upset hits if it is Pittsburgh beating Buffalo, because you don't know what Josh Allen you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Like,
True
you just,
that. True that.
I don't know. That's the way he's been this whole season. With the Bucks and the Eagles, I am gonna go and take. I'll take the Eagles. I know that right now.
What?
After Chris mentioned that you don't know like what this is going to do to them, it might light them up. It made me think, and I was like, Philly could just turn this around from one moment to the next and be that powerhouse team that they were for the first half of the season. But I'm just going to give it to the Eagles, but I do really hope that it is the Bucks. For the Rams and Lions, I'm going to take the Rams with the upset on that one. I think Matthew
wow.
Stafford goes home and beats them at home. And then for Green Bay and Dallas, I'm going to go with the Cowboys, and listen to me clearly. All three of us chose the Cowboys, and I guarantee you Green Bay wins. Like, it's
I
just
hope
going to
so.
that's going to be our luck. But yeah, so those are our predictions for the wild card season.
Okay, let's
Wild card
get it.
week. We do have obviously next week we'll come back and do the divisional and see where we stood with our picks. Carlos, congrats on winning your fantasy football league, dude.
Yep, my
that's-
shirt's in the mail.
There you go. So I did tell the boys earlier. We're wrapping up here with our episode. We're gonna play a little game before we leave, and then you'll hear our normal outro and all that, yada yada yada, good stuff. So this one is actually a snake draft, if you would call it that, of the best athletes that start with this letter. But to make it easy or fair for everybody, we're going to ask Siri to give us a random letter in the alphabet. And then we have to come up with the athlete that starts with that letter, best athlete, top athletes, whatever. And then we'll all take turns, do a draft. We'll got to do 3 each. All right.
Okay.
So let me ask Siri real quick. Hey, Siri, give me a random letter in the alphabet. Okay, so everybody can see the random letter is J.
You gotta wash your screen, bro.
So-
That thing is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
me
don't know
too.
what
bro.
happened.
I could not
Oh, it's
read
because I lowered the
anything.
volume.
I couldn't read anything.
It's because it's like a privacy thing, but it is pretty dirty. Look. All right, so the random letter is J. We have 3 minutes, all right, to do this draft for everybody. We're gonna do a snake style draft, so it'll go Carlos, Chris, me, Chris, Carlos, Chris, me.
Got
And
it.
we
Good.
cannot do repeats.
No repeats. It starts with
Oh,
the letter
no,
J.
no. It's a draft.
We need a 3-minute timer, so we make sure we finish on time, and you better finish on time.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Carlos is starting with you, so start in 3, 2, 1. Starts with the letter J. Go.
Justin Jefferson.
Jordan Love.
Ooh. Best athletes? Mine is gonna
Oh,
be.
best athletes. I was just naming athletes.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's random. All right, so mine's gonna be.
Best.
Oh crap. Jamal Crawford.
You go
Oh,
back.
then me again. Dang.
Does his first name or
Jeter?
can it go like what they call him?
Jeter?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Jason Tatum. There you go.
Joe Montana.
Oh, dude, that was number one. We not pick him first.
Justin Turner.
It's you again.
Okay. Back to you, Carlos. This is the last pick for you.
Let me see. We should have ended off with.
Yeah, I have a minute and a half left.
Justin Thomas, only because I'm a golfer.
Did anybody
Okay,
choose
I was about to say, I
Jason
don't know who
Tatum?
that is. Yeah, I
Yeah,
picked
he
him.
did. Mike did.
Oh, I
I'm
got
gonna go
one.
way back. Jacoby Ellsbury.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. And I'm gonna end it off with Julius Irving.
Oh,
Nah.
Yeah.
I like this game.
And that's our game. That was Snake
Awesome.
Draft. We suck because we didn't pick top athletes. You guys said Jordan Love to start Chris. And then we put Joe Montana dead last. What the heck?
I think mine was Beth athletes. I don't know you guys. I don't even know the last guy that Chris picked. I don't know who the hell that is.
Jacoby
Jacoby-
Ellsbury. He's a
He used,
baseball
to
player.
be, he used to be a Red Sox, and then he ended a Yankee, and then he started sucking after
Was
that.
that who play in the minor leagues?
He was a center fielder.
Well, that's gonna wrap up our episode today. We try to keep it within the hour time frame. So if you guys enjoyed this, leave a like, comment, share with people that you think might like this kind of content. Give us ideas, shoot us DMs.
Yep.
We're trying to post everything weekly, all the clips that you see. If you guys don't like something, just hit us up on the messages on our comment section. Whatever makes your little happy heart, your heart happy. Boys, it was fun to be back. I'm looking forward to this playoff and the NFL. Congrats to Michigan winning the college football title. So there's huge congrats to the other Horrible brother who he might end up in the NFL next year. Who knows? So that's going to wrap up our episode for today. It was fun. It was great to see you guys again. Great to provide the content that we
Awesome.
do provide. Like I said,
Looking f-
like, share with a friend. We love you guys. Peace.
Later.